Hey guys, wanted to share a story with you. I've got a little bit of allergies today, so you're going to hear that in my voice. But I think this is a good one to share. It is, I believe, a werewolf, probably. Let me know at the end what you think it is. I'm very experienced in hunting, camping, hiking, and general survival. I'm very familiar and used to the wildlife. I was charged by what I believe is a cryptid called a dogman, so maybe a dogman, that charged me and my cousin. It was not a bear. A bear cannot move how it did, and was not a normal wolf, as they can't comfortably run on two legs, whereas what charged us seemed natural at this. This happened around June or July of 2007. I was around 17 years old and more cocky than, well, what I should have been, and more knowledgeable about the woods. My family used to own a cabin in northwest Wisconsin. I basically grew up there in the summer, and I knew the woods well, but at night it was wise to stay in the cabin, or at least by a bonfire, the beach because of bears, wolves, and cougars. So this happened somewhere between noon and 2 p.m. Me and my cousin were standing at the edge of a clearing on a trail talking. He was maybe 10 feet from me when I decided to mess with him. I shushed him and said, "We're being watched." He froze, and then I realized the woods were dead quiet. I got spooked and started scanning the tree line on the other edge of the clearing from left to right when I saw it. Its teeth gave it away. It was panting and staring at my cousin when I saw was a wolf as big as a black bear, at least 300 pounds, but it wasn't normal. The wolf was on two legs crouching next to a tree, and its arm was grasping the trunk with a crawled hand. It had reddish brown fur. I told my cousin that we have to go, and the next thing I know, he is sprinting. I looked back at Wolfie, who had locked on and sprinted a few steps on 2 feet, and then turned and ran when I looked like Wolfie was dropping to all fours. It charged us, and it sounded like it was right on our tails, barreling through the brush, but for whatever reason, it let us go when we broke out of the tree line and headed for the cabin. What stuck with me most was the sheer size. Wolfie appeared to be nearly 7 foot tall when upright, and where it should have had front paws, it appeared to have large, clawed hands. Now, I'm not sure how to explain it rationally. I've heard wolves will occasionally kind of walk upright, but as far as I know, they can't sprint on two legs, nor do wolves get that big black bears only waddle on two legs. This thing ran freely and comfortably bipedally. You know, the other night, guys, the boys and I were driving down the road, and we saw what we thought was a calf in the road, which isn't unusual around here in cattle country. And I told the boys, I said, "Look at there, there's a calf up there in the road." It's almost dusky dark. You could see it in the road. It was a good-sized calf. And we got a little ways from it, probably, I don't know, 500 yards, 600 yards. It spins around in the road, but the way it spun around, it was no calf. You could see the arms bent a different way than what a calf does, like it had a hand or a paw, and it spun completely around, and it ran off into the high grass. Well, of course, we were driving, so we got there almost, a few seconds after it ran into the grass. I stopped and looked out the window. Whatever it was had disappeared. It had to have laid down in the grass and was hiding from us. Calves don't lay down in the grass. They usually will either run into the field, run a little way, stop, turn sideways, look at you, or they'll run down the ditch watching you as you drive, and then sometimes cut in front of you. Whatever this was, it knew to run into the tall grass to lay down and hide. We've been hearing some strange noises around the house lately, so we may have had a hitchhiker come back with us, and we've been keeping our eye out for that also. So yeah, always when you see something and you suspect it to be one thing, always remember it could be another. I appreciate y'all watching. Until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel, don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one.